The Blue Jays, as we mentioned, playing a charter member of the American League back in 1901. The Chicago White Sox played the very first game in the American League. Now they're going to introduce the starting lineups. The 48th Highlanders marching on in the left field area. And we'll have some activities underway now. It looks as though they're going to give it a real try to get this ball game underway. The snow is certainly eased up considerably. It's just the white stuff on the field that's the problem. Let's see how well they do. The first man coming up is Ralph Garr, the left fielder for the White Sox, who's hit 300 or better in 4 of his 6 seasons in the major leagues. A 300 average in 1976. So Bill Singer will face a tough hitter, left-hander Ralph Garr.
And one of the fastest base runners in the American League, Don.
Here it is, the first pitch in Blue Jay history. It's a strike with a fastball. That ball has been exchanged and will go to the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame.
The Canadian Sports Hall of Fame.
0-1 the count as Singer deals again. Strike 2.
Ralph Garr, Don, loves to play on artificial turf. He can get those high hoppers. Like I said, he's very fast getting down to first base, and he usually hits the ball on the ground a lot, tries to hit that ball through the infield. Once in a while, he'll crank up and hit a home run for you.
Singer is outside. It is 1-2. Well, you talk about his speed. The first time he stole a base in the major leagues, he stole home plate.
He can run. Probably not a good base steal like a Bill North with Oakland, but every bit as fast, and he's a definite threat to steal a base when he gets on.
32-year-old Bill Singer, a veteran, I think best known for his days with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The first named player to be signed by the Blue Jays in the expansion draft is pitching to Ralph Garr. It is 1-2. That's a ball that got away from Rick Cerone. The count even now at 2-2. Coming up next, Alan Bannister, the shortstop, followed by George Orta, the second baseman. 2-2 pitch. That bounces low. Gets away from Rick Cerone again. Bill Singer, after 2 fast strikes, has run to a full count of 3-2. As he digs the mud out of his cleats, that'll be a problem for him, Whitey.
It is. They'll probably just leave something out there, usually some piece of metal where they can get that mud out of their spikes. Because when that fills up with mud, even with the spikes, it can be slippery, especially on the dirt portion of the field.
There's Dave McKay in from third base with a word for Bill Singer with a full count to Ralph Garr, the left fielder, 3-2. Outside, high, and it's a walk for Garr. Singer puts the first White Sox hitter on, and that'll bring up Alan Bannister, the shortstop. Bannister hit .248 in 1976. He's one of those great ball players out of Arizona
Number
State.
7, Alan Bannister.
Left-hander Garr gets on with a base on balls, and now the first right-hander to face Bill Singer is Alan Bannister. Nobody out, top of the first inning, the White Sox and the Blue Jays in the snow in Toronto, inside for a ball.
You mentioned Alan Bannister. So many good players have come out of Arizona State. Duffy Dyer with Pittsburgh, Sal Bando, Reggie Jackson, Alan Bannister. Just some great pitchers come out of that college.
Makes a move, tries to get Garr. He's back in plenty of time at first base. Doug Ault covering the bag for the Blue Jays. 1-0 the count to Alan Bannister. Fouled off, first base side. There's the first souvenir to the stand. Tell you, base stealing, which Garr likes to do, can be a little treacherous on that slippery turf between first and second. He hasn't really made a move yet. 1-1 the count to Bannister. That is low and away for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody out, top of the first. Ralph Garr on first base.
Bill Singer is a low ball pitcher, Don. In a case like this, he wants to pitch low to Alan Bannister. Try and get that ground ball and see if they can get a double play.
A couple of previous pitches to Ralph Garr got away from Rick Cerone. 2-1 count, goes for the bag at first and doesn't get it.
Bill Singer has a good move to first base for right-handed. Right-handed pitchers very seldom pick a runner off first, but he can hold him close.
That's pretty tight. That'll be ball 3. 3-1. So Singer with a little control problem after dealing 2 strikes to start the top of the first inning. Remember, it's awfully cold out there. It's pretty hard to condemn a pitcher for letting his control get away on him on a day like this.
It is. Your fingers are cold. It's a little tough to get a grip on the baseball.
3-1 pitch. Gar's away. Here's Cerrone, the throw to second base. He's safe and goes into the outfield. Gar will try third base. He's in there. Gar advances 2 bases on the pitch to Alan Bannister.
There goes Gar. He got a pretty good jump running off of that dirt.
Here it is again. Gar was shaken up coming around into third base.
The throw was a little low and got by the shortstop.
That slide, I think, hurt him. Legs spread apart, and back of the third base coaching box, he's being attended to. That's the danger, you know, the field as slippery as this. This can happen very easily, Whitey.
There's manager Bob Lemon and Bobby Knapp, third base coach, seeing how Ralph Gar is.
Well, he'll be going back onto third base.
He looks like he's all right. Now, here's a replay now. Here goes Gar into third, and let's see how he might have injured that leg.
Oh, the extension to the splits in there.
I think he hit that right leg, hit the bag so hard, I think that's what hurt him for a moment.
Well, he's all right now. We have nobody out. Gar on third base. Pitch to Bannister. Hit to right center field. Steve Bowling has got it. And he'll hold up Ralph Gar as he throws into Rick Cerrone. So Gar stays on third base.
Good throw by Steve Bowling, and you notice Bill Singer was right back there behind home plate backing up the catcher.
So Bannister flies to Steve Bowling. Bowling holds Gar. We have 1 out, and the batter is going to be George Orta, the second baseman.
The second baseman, George Orta.
Orta with a .274 average in 1976. Led the Sox in runs batted in. Game-winning hits, and he had the longest hitting streak for the team last year, 17 consecutive games. The left-hander against the right-hander, Singer. It is popped up into center field. Gary Woods under it, has it. He will not get Ralph Gar. The long throw is cut off partially by Singer. Gar scores, and the White Sox go on top by a run.
Some of the fans may wonder why Gar didn't try and score on the last fly ball to right field. Well, with none out, it's not a very good risk, but with 1 out, you almost have to try if the fly ball has any distance on it at all.
Number 22.
Yeah, that was a lot deeper than the previous one by Alan Bannister. So the cleanup man, Richie Zisk, the right fielder, coming up now, number 22. Batted .313 in 1974, his best year. Hit .289 last year. 1 game against the Giants. He had a homer, triple, double, and single all in 1 ball game. Singer's pitch is low for a ball 2. 2-0 the count to Richie Zisk, 2 away. White Sox lead 1-0 in the top half of the first inning of the first Major League game ever in Toronto.
I think Bill Singer is having a little trouble with that mud getting in his spikes. He's been pitching a little higher than he usually does.
Solid ball hit deep to center field about the 400 mark near the fence. It is gone for a home run. Richie Zisk, a 400-foot home run, and the Chicago White Sox are going to go on top 2-0. Richie Zisk. There's that power we talked about. So Bill Singer gives up the first home run in Blue Jay history.
Richie Zisk is used to playing in a ballpark like this. It's just about the same dimensions as the Pittsburgh Pirates field. 400 feet to center field, 375 in the alleys, just about the same distance. And Zisk is one of those hitters, hits left center, right center, and dead center field.
This is Jim Spencer, the first baseman. First pitch is low from Singer for a ball. 2 out. White Sox lead the Blue Jays 2-0, top of the first inning. 1-0 pitch. On the ground into the outfield. Past Pedro Garcia. That's a base hit. That is the second hit given up by Bill Singer. The home run by Richie Zisk, and now the one base hit by Jim Spencer.
Jim Spencer's picking right up from last year when he played an opening day for Chicago. I think he hit a home run and got 3 base hits and knocked in 3 or 4 runs.
There's a guy you know, Whitey, Oscar Gamble, just acquired the other day from the Yankees.
I couldn't believe it. I left Fort Lauderdale the other day and I just thrown batting practice to Oscar, and I got up to Toronto. I found out he was on the Chicago White Sox. Oscar in 2 minor league pitches came to the Yankees for Bucky Dent.
He's the designated hitter for the White Sox. That's a fastball, a strike to him. 0-1, the count to Oscar Gamble. Jim Spencer is on first base with his base hit to center field. The White Sox lead it 2-0. That is a ball inside. It is 1-1.
Jim Spencer at first is not much of a threat to steal second base, and you got a long ball hitter like Oscar Gamble up there in 2 out. You want to give Gamble a chance to try and manager Bob Lemon wants to give him a chance to try and hit one out of here.
Singer, the 1-1 pitch, gets away high and outside. It is 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Oscar Gamble. Eric Soderholm is due up next, followed by Chet Lemon on the White Sox order. That is outside again. It is 3-1. Bill Singer continues to have the control problems in the first inning on this very cold day at Exhibition Stadium. The temperature below 40 degrees, about 3 degrees Celsius, but fortunately the snow has eased up. Goes for the pickoff at first, but back in time is Jim Spencer. All right, 3-1. That is a ball. A second base on balls issued by Bill Singer. So they'll have runners on first and second as Spencer goes over to second base. And Eric Soderholm is coming up next for the White Sox.
Manager Roy Hartfield has gone out to talk to Bill Singer, and there's going to be a little action down in the Blue Jays bullpen.
Well, Bob Miller, the pitching coach, said Jerry Johnson or Steve Hargan might be his choices to move in to relieve Bill Singer if that should be necessary. No indication from Hartsfield yet as to whether Bill is coming out. He said, well, we're really warming up until now, so they likely leave him in for a few pitches anyway.
They will. Oh, yes, definitely. But the thing is, in an early game like this, you have 5, say you have 9 pitchers on the club. You have 5 starting pitches. You'll have probably 2 good relief pitchers, short men they call them, pitch 1 or 2 innings. And then you'll have 2 other pitchers they call long men. Well, I can't see who's warming up down there in the bullpen, but it'll be somebody that they want. If he does come in, he'll be able to pitch 4 or 5 innings.
Soderholm, the third baseman for the White Sox. First pitch to him is high for a ball. Ball 1. Runners on first and second. Spencer on second, Gamble on first. Soderholm fell into a hole on a construction site and missed the entire season last year. Injured in August of 1975. So he's making a comeback now. Swings at a fastball, and it's 1-1.
Here's one of the players I mentioned, Don, that wore glasses and could have a problem today if they get wet or get a little snow on them.
Well, I'm having a little trouble myself, and I'm partially covered indoors here. Strike 2, the throw from Bill Singer. It's 1-2 to Eric Soderholm. 2 on and 2 out and 2 runs in for the White Sox in a long top half of the first inning. They have sent their 7th man to the plate now. 2 runs on 2 hits. Singer pitches. That is hit foul down the third base side. And the ball hops up into the crowd. Spencer will go back along with Oscar Gamble.
I finally got the number of the Blue Jay relief pitch down the bullpen. It's 44, Jerry Johnson.
Jerry Johnson likely to replace Singer, although Bill throwing a little better now, finding that strike zone. The count 1-2. Wants to get out of this inning if he can right here against Soderholm. Deals the 1-2 pitch. And is hit to the shortstop. Up with it is Torres to second base to Garcia, and the inning is over. And the Chicago White Sox get 2 runs on 2 hits. No Toronto errors. They lead it 2-0 after half. Well, here we are in Toronto, the scene of this Major League opening game today. the tower in downtown Toronto, and just down the road along Lakeshore Boulevard, Snowy's Exhibition Stadium. There it is. The snow disappearing gradually, the air warming up ever so gradually, but for now the snow appears to have abated here. As the Blue Jays, Whitey, will send up their lineup for the first time in the major leagues.
Leading off, Don John Scott hitting second, Hector Torres, Doug Ault hitting third, Otto Velez hitting fourth, the designated hitter, Gary Woods, Steve Bowling, Pedro Garcia, Dave McKay, and Rick Cerone.
The tally for the top of the first for the White Sox was 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. They charged Rick Cerone on an error on one of those pitches that got away on him. And on the mound warming up now is Ken Brett for the White Sox.
Ken Brett probably doesn't have one real good pitch. It's just a mixture of 3 or 4 good pitches. He got a fastball, a curve, a slider, and he throws a change of pace off of his fastball. Once in a while has a little control problem. He pitched twice against the Blue Jays down in Florida and had 1 good outing against them and 1 not too good.
Well, he has quite a story. I mentioned at 19 he was the youngest man to pitch in a World Series for the Red Sox in 2 appearances in '67. He's an outstanding hitter for a pitcher, but of course in the American League that doesn't come into play. He hit .310 in 1974. He's got 10 home runs in the major leagues. How are you as a hitter? Refresh my memory, Whitey.
I was what you would call about a 190 hitter, Don. Nothing like Ken Brett. And when you see his brother plays third base for Kansas City, Toronto fans are going to see a real good third baseman and one of the better hitters in the American League.
Well, Brett winning 10 and losing 12 last year. The White Sox think they made one of the best deals in a long time when they got him for outfielder Rich Coggins, with Coggins for Carlos May. And here's John Scott coming up, the first batter in the very brief history of the Toronto Blue Jays. The first time they've come to the plate. John Scott, the left fielder. They sent 9 right-handed batters up in this lineup against Brett. Scott hit .315 in a Y last year. He's a streak hitter. First pitch to him from Brett is a strike. Fastball for strike 1. Scott was the first choice for San Diego in the free agent draft in 1970. This ball is fouled just to the left of the plate. So it is 0-2, 2 strikes to John Scott. Hector Torres, acquired from Cleveland recently. We'll be following him in. And here's something for all you trivia fans. And that is, if you want to remember in years to come who is the first man ever to hit for the Jays, it is indeed this man. You're watching it right now, John Scott. That was the ball, 1-2 the count to him. White Sox lead 2-0 over Toronto. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Inside, it'll go to 1 and it'll go to 2 and 2.
Scott's an ideal leadoff man. He has good speed, can steal bases. I know manager Roy Hartfield is going to want to see this guy lead off the game, either a walk or a base hit many times this season. He's got real good speed and stole 38 bases last year.
White Sox shifted around to the left for John Scott, the Blue Jays hitter. The count is 2-2. That is a third strike swinging, and he goes out. So you can also add to your trivia notes, the first man up struck out for the Toronto Blue Jays. All right, Hector Torres, the shortstop, number 29, is coming up now.
Hector, I was talking to him before the game, Don. I really felt old. I played in Mexico in 1948 with Hector's father, who was one of the finest hitters in Mexico. And Hector used to come to the ballpark. He was 2 or 3 years old. And now I come and see him. Now he's 32 years old.
First pitch to him from Brandt is low for a ball. It is 1-0, 1 away, bottom of the first. That is a strike. Caught the corner on the outside, 1-1 to Hector Torres. Sauter home at third, Bannister at short. Ort at second, Spencer at first. Brett deals. It is swung foul. Another souvenir on the home plate side, first base. Torres certainly has been around, playing with Montreal, Houston, Chicago Cubs, and San Diego. Now, Toronto. 1-2 pitch to it. Inside, he went for it. Strikeout number 2 for Ken Brett. Striking out Scott and Torres. Now it'll be Doug Ault, the first baseman.
Number 25, the first baseman.
Usually after a strikeout, the catcher will throw it down to third and he'll throw it around the infield. But I noticed today it goes right down to the third baseman and back to the pitcher. When you get a 2-run lead, you like to get that game over with as quick as you can and not delay it at all.
Doug Ault picked up from Texas in the expansion draft. Hit .313 for Sacramento in Texas last year, mostly with Sacramento. Brett had that pitch get away on him. It's a ball, 1-0. He joined them for 9 games. There's Anne Murray. She sang the national anthem. Probably wondering about that big song of hers, Snowbird, after what's happened today. Ball 1, strike 1 to Doug Ault. Blue Jays have struck out in their first 2 appearances. They trailed 2-0 to the Chicago White Sox. Brett deals, hard hit ball, power alley, left center field, home run! Doug Ault hits the first homer in Blue Jay history and will score the first run.
Don Bobby Durr, the batting coach for the Blue Jays, was telling me about Doug Ault during batting practice. Very strong, and he hit that ball real well over the 375-foot sign and probably went close to 400 feet.
What a thrill for this crowd. There he is, Doug Ault, hard-hitting first baseman. This crowd roaring like a World Series crowd. Here's the cleanup man, the designated hitter, Otto Velez. Strike 1. Velez with the Yankees hit .266. Got about 100 at bats, I think it was, last year, Whitey. Second pitch to him. That is high for a ball. It is 1-1.
I've pitched batting practice to Otto Velez for probably the last 3 years. He's got good power to all fields, and he can hit that ball over that right field fence as easy as that left field fence. He's got good power to the opposite field.
Brett's pitch is inside. It is 2-1. He's one of 2 Yankee members of the American League champions last year with the Blue Jays. Jim Mason is the other. Mason hit a home run in the World Series. That is going out to center field. Scrambling back forward is Chet Lemon. He's got another warning track for the third Blue Jay out. The 2 long balls hit, one for a home run by Doug Ault. Deep fly ball to center by Otto Velez. And the Blue Jays end their first inning with a run on a hit. And the score is Chicago 2 and Toronto 1. We're back with you from Toronto, the scene of the first American League game ever played in Canada and Toronto's first Major League Baseball game. The Blue Jays of the Chicago White Sox. With Whitey Ford and Tom McKee, this is Don Chevrier. And here it is, the snow melting gradually on the turf at Exhibition Stadium. And the batter for Chicago is center fielder Chet Lemon. That is outside, broke away for a ball. Starting pitcher Bill Singer survived that first inning. Chet Lemon hit .246 last year. Slaps that one down to Pedro Garcia. Garcia over to Ault for the out. 1 away.
I noticed, Don, when that infield is a little damp right now, that when those ground balls hit, it really looks like it picks up speed. That ball got to Pedro Garcia real quick.
Number 16,
there we have Bob Lemon
Downing
in the White Sox dugout, hollering out a little advice to one of his players.
Boy, what a career he had as a player. 7 20-game seasons for the Cleveland Indians, now managing the Chicago White Sox. Here's Brian Downing, the catcher. That is ball 1. Not quite perfect enough for plate umpire Nestor Shilak. 1-0 the count to Brian Downing. 1 away. White Sox lead 2-1. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
Here's another player wearing glasses, and as a catcher, it's got to be a little tough for Brian Downing, especially in the rain and a little bit of snow we had today. Those glasses get wet. It's got to be a little tough.
That is tapped foul down the third base side. It goes to 1-2.
You know, Don, you see all these baseballs going in the stands, hit foul. 18 years with the Yankees, I never knew who'd rub the baseballs up, and I went down and visited Nestor Shilak before the game. They rub 6 dozen balls up before each game, and in other words, when the game starts, they have to have 6 dozen baseballs all rubbed up with some kind of mud they get from Mississippi or someplace.
Concentration you see in Bill Singer's face as he deals high for a ball. It is 2-2. 1 out, nobody on base. White Sox half of the second inning. They lead it 2-1. Richie Zisk is homered for Chicago, dugout for Toronto. Inside, swung on, foul into the third base bleachers.
Manager Bob Lemon was telling me before the game he's trying to get Brian Downing to cut down on his swing. He just swings as hard as he can at every pitch, especially with 2 strikes. He's trying to cut down on Downing's strikeouts and just make contact, especially with 2 strikes.
It is the one pass ball last season. He's tough when he gets on base. He stole 20 out of 30 attempts last year. That is fouled away. And those balls, I'll tell you, with that short screen behind the plate, come really driving into these spectators. These fans dressed today like a Grey Cup crowd would appear, and did appear, as a matter of fact, a few months ago right here. Short tap gets over Singer's head. He might beat this one out, charging the ball, but not in time, is the shortstop, Hector Torres. So that'll be a base hit for Brian Downing as he beats out that little bloop that just sailed over the head of Bill Singer. So we have 1 out. 1 on, top of the order, Ralph Garr, who walked in his first appearance. Left-handed hitting Garr. Singer goes to the pickoff, and it was close. Scrambling back in time was Brian Downing. Throw a bit high for dugout to bring the ball down for the tag. First pitch to him, breaks outside for a ball. 1-0.
You mentioned Brian Downing down on first base, stealing 20 bases. That's very unusual for a catcher to have that kind of speed. All that squatting down they do behind home plate sort of slows them up after a few years. But not many, you won't find many catchers that steal bases as well as Brian Downing.
Well, he's batting 1,000 this season at 256 last year with this little bloop base hit he just got over the head of Bill Singer. 1 out. White Sox lead the Blue Jays 2-1. We're in the top half of inning 2 at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. Snow still drifting down, but ever so lightly compared to the onslaught we had half an hour before the game. Singer deals. That one floats outside. Didn't catch the corner. It's ball 2, 2-0.
Singer's trying to pitch that ball down and away, try and get a ground ball a second or short. He doesn't want him to pull that ball because the first baseman is holding the runner on. They got a big space there between Garcia and the first base line, so they try and avoid a guy pulling the ball down the right field line.
The 2-0 pitch from Singer is a strike. Caught the outside corner, 2-1. Dave McKay at third, Torres at second, or shortstop. Garcia at second. That broke outside. 3 balls and a strike now. Doug Auld, who's hit the home run for Toronto at first base, trying to contain Brian Downing right there with Ralph Garr at the plate. Garr has put a copyright among the nickname Road Runner as far as athletes are concerned. That's his name. Again, Singer with a good move to first base, not able to get Brian Downing. 3 balls and a strike to Ralph Garr. He walked his previous time up. Again, an attempt unsuccessful from Bill Singer over to Doug Auld. They're keeping the dangerous Downing honest right there. Ralph Garr graduated in 1968 from Grambling. That's a football college primarily. That's a called strike. Garr heading for first base. Shylock says you'll stay for one more pitch. It is 3-2.
Ralph Garr usually makes contact. He doesn't strike out that much. I wouldn't be surprised if manager Bob Lemon had Downing running on this pitch.
Downing made a move there. No, they didn't get him, but it was close. Downing with a good leadoff and a quick move by Singer almost caught him.
Downing was trying to get one of those running starts if he was going to second base, and Singer made a good throw over there.
Full count, 3-2. Again, Singer must have gone half a dozen times. Downing's going to have the dirtiest left leg in the Chicago lineup from getting back to first base. Goes this time, swung on by Garr. Dave McKay makes the pickup. The throw's low, gets away from Auld. That'll be a throwing error, very likely. And going to third base is Brian Downing on the missed throw. Well, they had the second out all locked up, but I guess the ball was wet when fielded by Dave McKay, and it was away from Doug Ault at first base. That'll be a throwing error undoubtedly to Dave McKay.
Number 7, the shortstop.
Here's Alan Bannister, the shortstop. Get a fly ball to right field the first time out.
I think you're right about that ball. Could have been a little damp down when he threw it to first base. Plus, he was running over towards second to field it and had to throw across his body to first base.
Runners on first and third. The pitch is outside for a ball to Alan Bannister. Singer again getting in trouble in this inning. McKay mishandling that throw has gotten them into a jackpot. They trail 2-1, the Blue Jays. A home run by Doug Ault has been the only scoring play and the only hit for Toronto. On third base, there's Brian Downing. He's the one they have to be concerned with. Doug Ault watching Gar on first base. 1-0 pitch coming from Bill Singer. Hit sharply to the outfield. That'll score Downing. John Scott putting it in to Torres, the shortstop, and the White Sox have runners on first and second and a lead of 3-1. An RBI for Alan Bannister.
We're going to have a little more action in the Blue Jays bullpen. Bob Miller, the pitching coach, going down there. Probably Jerry Johnson again.
Chicago
6,
3
the second baseman, George
and
Orta.
the Blue Jays 1. In the bullpen, some sign of imminent activity for the Toronto Blue Jays. Hargan and Johnson out there. Singer, the starter, still in the game, fires a strike to George Orta. Orgay, he calls himself George. And I admit that George is a lot easier for us too, Whitey. That is a called strike, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to Orta. Fly ball in his first appearance to center field put him out. One out, top of the second. 0-2 pitch, swung on, foul. That'll be out of play, third base side.
They might need more than those 6 dozen balls, Don, the way these foul balls have been bouncing around here the first inning and a half. There's Ralph Gar down at second base.
Alan Bannister down on first base. He got the hit that drove in Brian Downing for the third Chicago run. They lead it 3-1. 0-2 pitch coming from Bill Singer, the Blue Jays right-hander. Swung on, that is the first strikeout for Bill Singer. Strikes out George Orta, and they're 2 away now in the bottom or the top of the second inning with those 2 runners still on first and second. And here's Richie Zist.
The right fielder, Richie
There's Paul
Zist.
Godfrey and his son. Godfrey, of course, a key figure, the Metro chairman in bringing baseball to Toronto. Worked tirelessly to get this team here. He almost got the Giants here a year ago. 2 out. Zist hammers one deep to left field. It hits the fence. That's going to score 1 run. And holding up at third base will be Bannister. So they go ahead 4-1 on that hard hit ball by Richie Zisk. He's 2 for 2 now, a home run and a double.
He's got a lifetime batting average of 1,000 in the American League. He's showing us today that he's going to hit that ball just as good in this league as he did over in the National League with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He scored Gar, advanced Bannister to third base, and Zisk with a double is standing at second base.
Spencer.
Jim Spencer, he got a single first time up, the first baseman for Chicago. 2 out. Chicago leads 4-1. Left-hander Spencer against the right-handed pitcher Bill Singer. That is a strike. 0-1. White Sox 2 runs the top of the first, and now 2 more so far in this the top of the second inning. Doug Ault with a home run for the Blue Jays' only run in the bottom of the first. Low. 1-1. There is Foster Hewitt, the pioneer, the voice of hockey in Canada. And he'll have quite a doubleheader, as many sports fans will today, because coming up tonight in Maple Leaf Gardens, Game 2 of the playoffs, the Leafs in Pittsburgh. Swung on, that is foul down the first base side by Spencer.
There's quite a man right there, Manny Minoso, the first base coach. One of the most colorful players I've ever seen in baseball.
Bobby Knopp, the third base coach for the Chicago White Sox. Manny Minoso, a legendary name in this game. Bill Singer's given up 5 hits so far. That is swung on, foul by Jim Spencer. The count remains at 1-2. 2 out, bottom of the second, 4-1. The White Sox lead the Blue Jays. I don't know if it's only my imagination, Whitey, but it seems a little warmer now.
It does, and I noticed that outfield, that snow is just about melted off in the outfield.
Hit right back to Bill Singer, makes a good stop, and the put out the side is retired. Spencer goes out, pitcher to first baseman, 1-3. So the White Sox push across 2 more runs. They get 3 hits. They lead Toronto 4-1.
Now you have a good view of this beautiful ballpark here in Toronto, and can give you an idea of some of the dimensions here. If you go right down the foul lines, it's 330 feet, just about right, I think. In the power alleys and left and right center, it's 375 feet, and dead center is 400 feet. I think it's a real fair ballpark for the hitters and the pitchers.
Leading off for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the second, they trail 4-1 to Chicago, is the center fielder Gary Woods. He'll be followed by right fielder Steve Bowling and second baseman Pedro Garcia.
The center fielder Gary Woods.
Gary Woods played in Tucson on the Pacific Coast League last year, hit .308. He plays winter baseball down in Venezuela. Good defensive skills. He's got some power as well. Right-hander up there against Ken Brett, southpaw of the White Sox, fouls it down the first base side. The first pitch. In the first, 2 Blue Jays struck out. Scott and Torres. Then Doug Ault hammered a home run. Otto Velez fly to center field. Lawn Gary Woods. His hobby is skiing. He might have thought he'd arrived at the right place today when he hit Exhibition Stadium. 1-1 the count to him. Brett throws it outside. A ball. It is 2-1. There is Gary's percentage in Tucson last year. And the pitch is bunted. Good bunt. Lays it down the first base side. He'll beat this out. Safe. The first baseman, Spencer, made a dive attempt at a tag, and he missed it.
That's something we work on in spring training. For 6 weeks we worked on this play, and now you see it again. Ken Brett did the right thing. He went over toward first, but then he saw he couldn't get it. And Spencer, all he could do was try and catch it and dive at the runner, but he was a little late.
Steve Bowling.
He missed him, so Steve Bowling comes up. Nobody out. Gary Woods on first base, the right fielder Bowling. Swung foul. That ball hit him on the way up. Shylock checks to see if he's all right. Nestor Chilak, Joe Brinkman, Rich Garcia, and Steve Palermo are the umpires working today's game. This opener in Toronto with 44,000 warmly bundled fans here, riding every pitch with excitement. They've seen 2 home runs, some long balls, some strikeouts. They've seen a bunt laid down. That is a strike called strike 2 to Bowling. Ken Brett is only given up the 2 hits so far, the homer and the single. Lots hard drive into the stands going foul. These fans here, Whitey, the way this park is set up, had better keep their eyes open.
They have to. They really do. Those foul balls can really come into those stands quick.
Brett won the All-Star game, the winning pitcher of record in '74. That is a ball, low. 1-2 is the count. Gary Woods on first base with a single on the bunt that he beat out. Nobody out. Inside. Jumping out of the way was Steve Bowling just in time. 2-2.
I can see down where Brian Downing only, I think you mentioned, had one pass ball last year. He is very quick back there. That pitch was inside, almost hit the batter, and Downing made a good play so it didn't get by him.
Tremendous reflexes as a catcher and tremendous speed on the base paths. The 2-2 pitch swung on at his chopped foul.
You'll notice when they get 2 strikes on a batter, Downing will move inside or outside. He wants to let Brett know exactly where he wants that pitch, and he won't move out until after that. He's given the sign, then he might move around behind that plate. He doesn't want that batter to see him moving around, though. Then the batter can get an idea just how they're trying to pitch him.
High for a ball. It is 3-2. Brett, in his first difficulty of this game, really saved the home run he gave up to Doug Ahl. Full count, nobody out, and he's got a base runner on first to the person of Gary Woods. 3-2 pitch, Woods away.
He tried to hold back that swing.
Just a piece he got of it, just a piece. Woods was in full flight down to second base. So the count remains 3-2.
Three runs behind. The manager must have a lot of confidence in Steve Bowling. He's going to get a piece of the ball, having the run on a 3-2 count.
3-2 pitch again. No, goes to first base, and in behind the pitch nicely was Gary Woods. Spencer was away from the bag on that throw from Ken Brett. Brett's given up 2 hits so far, a homer and a single, 1 run. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swung on, struck him out, going out to second base. Woods, he's safe.
Now we'll see that stolen base by Gary Woods once more. There he goes. Got a good jump with Jim Spencer playing back. Makes a good slide, and he's in there safe.
So in terms of future trivia, the first man to steal a base for the Blue Jays was Gary Woods, second inning, April 7th, 1977. Bowling strikes out, 1 away. Pedro Garcia, his first appearance, the second baseman. He chops it for a base hit into right field. Coming around to score is going to be Gary Woods. He's safe. In there in plenty of time. An RBI for Pedro Garcia, driving Gary Woods in from second base. And Garcia held up at first.
Tell you, Don, for 2 innings, these fans have seen some pretty... just about everything you want to see in baseball. Outside of the pitching hasn't been that good. There's a picture of Pedro Garcia, the second baseman.
And he has good reason to smile. After driving in Gary Woods for the second Blue Jay run, the White Sox now lead at 4-2. 1 out. Here's the Canadian in the lineup. Only 1 of 5 in Major League Baseball. Dave McKay of Vancouver, an excellent third baseman. He's hitting right today, but he's working on his left-handed hitting as well. Chops one through the hole. It'll be a base hit for McKay, and they'll hold up at second base. Garcia will stop there. The Blue Jays have got something going here in the bottom of the second. 3 singles so far by Woods, Garcia, and McKay.
Brian Downing has, there's a picture of Dave McKay. Brian Downing has gone in. I guess he must have, something must have happened to his glove, and he went in and switched catcher's gloves.
Well, speaking of catchers, the next man up for Toronto is going to be the Blue Jays catcher, Rick Cerone.
And there's Ken Brett. He just threw his glove into the dugout. He wants another glove.
It's probably soaking wet by now. Well, Rick Cerone, who was with Cleveland last year along with Alan Ashby, he came in to replace Ashby, who was hurt. He's one of 3 Blue Jay catchers. Hit .254 playing for Toledo, where he spent much of last season. Blue Jays with a run and 3 hits so far, 1 out. And base runners on first and second here in the bottom of the second inning trail Chicago White Sox 4-2. As Whitey said, we've seen just about all you can see in a ball game, and it's only 2 innings old. Here's the pitch in there for a strike. At second base, that is Pedro Garcia. Dave McKay is at first. The count is 0-1. Swung on to the shortstop. Great stop down there by Alan Bannister, and he throws out Dave McKay at second base as Garcia goes on to third. Great defensive play by Alan Bannister.
Really good, Don. That ball hit the ground, and you know it really started to take off, and Alan made a great play at shortstop.
Score that, 6-4. The shortstop Bannister to the second baseman Orta.
Here's a replay of that last ball hit.
McKay got a pretty good jump, but what a play. Fans didn't like the call, but there it was, a split second ahead of McKay, who thought he was safe.
Number 11, the
So
left
we have
fielder,
two out
John
now, and the left fielder John Scott is up. He struck out back in the first. This is the sixth man the Blue Jays have sent to the plate. They have one run across, and they've got Pedro Garcia at third base. Rick Cerone, and a fielder's choice, is on at first. Swung on. It is stopped by Brett. The easy lob to first base to Spencer for the third out. The Blue Jays leave two men on base here in the second. They score a run, and they get in the process a total of 3 base hits.
Ladies and gentlemen, seated below the press box, representing the San Diego.
And so the score at the end of 2 innings is the White Sox 4 and the Blue Jays 2.
Welcome back to the Toronto Blue Jays' first Major League Baseball game. We now move forward to the bottom of the third inning. The score remains 4-2 for Chicago.
And here's Ken Brett warming up for the Chicago White Sox. Both starters are still in the ball game. The White Sox lead at 4-2. The bottom of the third, we'll see Hector Torres, Doug Ault, and Otto Velez come to the plate for the Toronto Blue Jays. Torres struck out.
When the weather warms up, I'm sorry, Don. When the weather warms up, the umpires only allow the pitchers 8 warm-up pitches between each inning, but in this kind of weather, they'll allow them to throw an extra 3 or 4 pitches. They don't want anybody to get hurt out there today.
Brett's pitch hit hard into center field by Torres for a base hit. That is hit number 5 off the pitching of Ken Brett, and here it is.
It's the pitch, a good curveball. He kept it down, but Hector Torres hit the ball good through. As we said before, them balls are going through that infield real quick.
They may not all get through on a dry day, a normal kind of day. So Torres is on first base, and here's Doug Ault. He homered his first time up. The first Blue Jay homer, the first Blue Jay run ever scored back in the first inning after Scott and Torres had struck out ahead of him. High and outside for a ball to Doug Ault. Doug is not just a pretty face or only a baseball player. He's worked as a roughneck in the North Sea, so he's conditioned for weather like this.
The problem with both pitches today is they haven't been able to keep that ball down consistently.
That's right. That caught the outside corner for a strike, as Ault looks back in disbelief at plate umpire Nestor Shilak. This is the bottom of inning 3. White Sox 4, Blue Jays 2. Nobody out. The runner on first base is Hector Torres with a single. And the count to Doug Ault, 1-1. Back for Ault, he gets in there. We're back for Torres.
Talking to pitching coach Stan Williams of the White Sox before the game, he said Brett didn't have a very good move, but he made a pretty good throw over to first base.
That is a check swing on the part of Doug Ault, and a ball. It is 2-1. Of course, those left-handers have got the big edge on those base runners on first. He's staring right at him. Checks Torres, and he'll give him a throw, but it was badly thrown, and he's back in plenty of time. Coming up next will be the designated hitter, Otto Velez. We had a long fly ball to center field back to the warning track to Chet Lemon back in the first after Doug Alt's home run. Here's Brett's pitch. It is hit deep to right field. Home run! Doug Alt will go down in memory and history as the first Blue Jay to hit 2 home runs in the opening game, back-to-back. Just tremendous. These fans are making heroes here, batter by batter and pitch by pitch, and right now Doug Alt heads that list. A 2-run homer, and the Blue Jays are tied at 4 with the White Sox.
That's a pretty happy dugout, and Doug Alt, he's got to be thrilled. Look at that, the grin on that face.
That's got to be a record for an expansion team, back-to-back home runs. And baseball is certainly full of records. That undoubtedly is one of them. Inside, but it caught the corner of the plate for a called second strike as Velez looks back at Nestor Shylock. Nobody out. Score tied. That did not kick the outside corner. That is a ball. It is 1-2. Gary Woods is due up next. And there's a strikeout. Otto Velez goes down swinging. He's the 4th strikeout victim of Ken Brett's today. Bill Singer is man 3.
The center fielder, Gary Woods.
So 1 out. 2 runs are in already, and Gary Woods, with nobody on, is the batter for Toronto, the center fielder. He singled back in the second. To the second baseman, Orta. Easily handle over to Spencer for out number 2. Score that 4-3. Steve Bowling, he struck out his only previous attempt. In the second is the batter for Toronto, the right fielder. Bowling has considerable power. Chops it foul back near the Blue Jays dugout.
Don, when this weather gets a little warmer, you're going to see both these pitchers, Bill Singer and Ken Brett, keep that ball down lower. They're both fine pitchers, and they're going to pitch a lot of good games before the season's over.
That one got away from the catcher, Brian Downing. Not many get away on him. Only 1 pass ball against him last year. 1-1 the count, 2 out, bottom of the 3rd. That is inside for a ball. It goes to 2-1 to Steve Bowling. Torres started the inning with a single to center field, and Doug Alt hit his 2nd consecutive home run to tie this ball game at 4. Blue Jays were down 4-1 at one time. Brett deals. That is high and outside for a ball. It is 3-1. Swung on, strike 2. Full count, 3-2 to Steve Bowling. 2 out. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Swung on to the shortstop. Up with it is Bannister over to Spencer. Plenty of time for the out. And the Blue Jays are down in inning number 3. But they got 2 hits and they got 2 runs. And the score at the end of 3 innings is the White Sox 4, the Blue Jays 4.
Welcome back to the Blue Jays' first ever season opener. We now move forward to the 5th inning. In the bottom of the 4th, Dave McKay drove home Pedro Garcia to give the Jays a 5-4 lead.
5-4, the Blue Jays lead, and starter Bill Singer has gone all the way with an impressive performance for Toronto. White Sox will be sending up Chet Lemon, their center fielder, their catcher Brian Downing, and their left fielder Ralph Garr on the top of the 5th. Lemon is 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out. He is one of 4 strikeout victims of Bill Singer. The right-hander fires the first pitch of the 5th, breaks outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Swung on foul, 1-1 the count.
Don, you mentioned before the game to me about the White Sox playing the first opening game in, I think it was 1901. You said those uniforms they have on today sort of looks like 1901 vintage.
They certainly do. You know, in 1901, they played against Cleveland. The game only took an hour and a half. And about 15,000 fans were there for it. Strike 2. Lemon swings. The count is 1-2. Only one umpire, by the way, handled that game. He checked his swing. It is 2-2. Oh, he got a piece of it. It's foul. So it remains 1-2. 1901. The weather that day was bright, sunny, and a light breeze blew across the park from the lake. The newspaper accounts say we have a light breeze here today, but nothing else is consistent. Inside, that pitch forced Lemon back, and it's 2-2.
That's called a purpose pitch. Singer hasn't been ahead of that many batters today, but every once in a while you get ahead of them. You got to, what do we say, protect your money out there, and you got to pitch inside once in a while, the hitters.
Here's his 2-2 pitch. Foul back off the screen. Blue Jays lead 5-4. 5 runs, 9 hits. White Sox 4 runs, 9 hits. The Blue Jays have committed 2 errors. He checked his swing, and that pops foul up behind home plate. Count remains at 2-2 to Chet Lemon. Jim Mason is at shortstop for the Blue Jays. He pinch hit for Hector Torres in the previous half inning. That is high. Full count now, 3-2.
Bill Singer's going to have a couple of easy innings pretty soon to be able to complete this game. He's thrown a lot of pitches today.
This one is almost retrievable by us, but it just dropped short. A lot of souvenirs going into the stands today.
Bill Singer there blowing on his hands, trying to keep them warm. The rule in the American League and the National League, if you go to your mouth with your hands, you have to be off the surface of the pitching mound.
Foul back once again by Lemon, getting half a dozen lives in there, and a full count at 3-2. This is the first in our series of Blue Jay and Expo telecasts on CBC TV in 1977. The Expos will be opening up at the Olympic Stadium a week from tomorrow, April the 15th. We'll have that game for you across the full CBC network. Another foul ball, line drive into the first base stands by Chet Lemon. He's getting a lot of batting practice. Finally got him on a called strike that broke across the inside corner of the plate. Lemon doesn't like it. Strikeout number 5 for Bill Singer.
Here's a replay of that. It's a high curveball, and it's a questionable strike. It's breaking now, and Lemon thought it might have been a little inside or high, and Nestor Shylock thought different, and it was strike 3.
Brian Downing fouls the first pitch back into the press box. Brian Downing, really a keen ball player. In fact, he got hurt in his very first play in his first major league game. A knee injury, diving for a foul ball. That one caught his bat on the way through for a second foul, and the count is 0-2. Don Chevrier with Whitey Ford and Tom McKee at Exhibition Stadium for the Toronto Blue Jays debut. They lead Chicago 5-4. 0-2 pitch. Base hit to left field. Scott on the first bounce up with it. And the throw to Mason will hold Brian Downing right there. Downing with his third consecutive single. And that is hit number 10 off the offerings of Bill Singer.
Here's that strong swing of Brian Downing we were talking about before. He's very strong, and he just hit that about as hard as you can. If he raised it, I think you'd see it up in the stands, but he just hit a low line drive to the in front of the left fielder.
This will be the fourth appearance for left fielder Ralph Garr, who reached base 3 times and a walk, a throwing error by Dave McKay, and then a base hit. 1 out. White Sox 5th. Outside for a ball. Those uniforms you mentioned look like they might have been used in 1901, but they certainly are interesting. And that's part of the fun of baseball, seeing the various designs that come around the league as these teams come into the various cities. That's through the hole for a base hit by Ralph Garr. Downing will hold at second base on the throw in from Steve Bowling. Cut off by Jim Mason.
With those balls going to the outfield so fast, Don, it's very hard, a man on first and you hit a single to right field like that, to get to third base. The ball just gets out there too quick. And I think we got manager Roy Hartfield out there, and I think that may be the end of Bill Singer.
Let's see what he might say to him.
You've already overextended yourself. I'd like for you to get this win, but this win's important to all of it. You've done a good job. I know you can, but I'm going to get somebody else to get that double. You've done a hell of a job. Get Johnson. Gary Johnson. Good job, buddy. Keep the ball in front of you. Don't get crossed up with you. There at second base.
So bring in Jerry Johnson. And you heard a very appreciative manager talking to his pitcher, Bill Singer, who's
3
disappointed.
days from now, you'll have another shot, pal.
Whitey, I never heard of a pitcher who really wanted to leave a ball game, and Bill Singer wants to hang in, but listen to the standing ovation they're giving him.
Well, Roy Hartfield went as long as he could with him. He would have liked to seen Bill Singer pitch 5 innings and have a chance to win the game. But pitching 4 1/3 innings, he has no chance to win the game. So he was just telling him he thought he did a good job when he went out to the mound there. But he gave up 11 hits in 4 1/3 innings. And
well, as you said, he threw a lot of pitches. And Chet Lemon, I think, made him throw a dozen to finally deal with him on a strikeout. Foul balls hit back, and he was tiring. So the right-hander Jerry Johnson comes on for the Blue Jays now in relief. Young man, very impressive in Dunedin, Florida. Jerry Michael Johnson.
Kicks that leg way up. Pretty good fastball and pretty good breaking ball.
He was acquired in a trade for catcher Dave Roberts, trade to the San Diego Padres a couple of months ago. Spent most of his time in the National League. Johnson is coming in with the Blue Jays ahead by a run, 5-4 on the top of the 5th with 1 out and 2 Chicago base runners on the pads.
As I said before, Bill Singer cannot be the winning pitcher. He could be the losing pitcher. These 2 base runners are his responsibility.
That was Downing and Garr both
now
reaching
for
base
Chicago,
on
number
single.
7, the shortstop, Alan Bannister.
Alan Bannister is 1 for 3. Flied out twice and singled to left field back in the 2nd inning. Like Steve Hargan is warming up for the Blue Jays as Hartsfield wants to see how Johnson goes. Fires the first pitch. It's called a ball. Threw the fastball in there that didn't quite reach the zone. One out, 2 on. The 1-0 pitch coming up to Alan Bannister. Line drive to McKay for 1. He can't throw it for 2. Made a move toward first base, trying to catch Brian or Ralph Garr, but Garr was too close to the bag. So the runners hold, and we have 2 out. And the batter is going to be George Orta. 0 for 3, flied out twice and struck out in the second inning.
You wonder what coaches say to base runners. Bobby Knopp, I guarantee you, told Brian Downing, line drive, make sure it gets through that infield. Don't get doubled off on a line drive to one of the infielders.
Johnson, a changeup, called strike 1. I think Cerrone goes out and looks at him and says, what are you doing? I would just drifted in there, and Orta had a called strike. Fouled back. It'll be 0-2. Orta hits third in the lineup. The cleanup man is 2 for 3. Richie Zisk is on deck. Brian Downing at second base. Ralph Garr at first. 2 away in the top of the 5th. Blue Jays lead the White Sox 5-4. Johnson missed with that one. It's 1-2. So both starting pitchers are gone. Ken Brett worked 3, and Bill Singer was relieved by Johnson just a couple of batters ago here in the top of the 5th. That is chopped foul. The snow has finally left us here in Toronto. Can only get drier now. Johnson throws hard, down to Doug Ault. He'll make the play all by himself, and the Blue Jays are out of the inning. So Johnson relieves Singer, retires the side after Bill Singer gave up 2 base hits. And it's still 5-4 Toronto. Today's game is coming to you from Toronto.
Western entrance of Exhibition Place. And in addition, the TTC will run special weekend and holiday express service from the Golden Mile.
Well, we're back at Exhibition Stadium, and there is the Blue Jay dugout as they fire the offensive lineup up for Otto Velez, Gary Woods, Steve Bowling's appearance at the plate. They lead it 5-4. This is the Toronto half of the 5th inning. And no matter what happens now, this ball game will soon be official. Whitey, one that we didn't really think would even get underway today.
Absolutely, and said before, neither starting pitcher can win the game. Bill Singer cannot lose it now, but Ken Brett can still be the losing pitcher.
Francisco Barrios has come on in relief of Ken Brett in the 4th inning, and he's warming up on the mound now for the Chicago White Sox. This is the first in our series of Blue Jay and Expo telecasts across the CBC network this summer. We hope you'll enjoy them. We hope you're enjoying today's game, which we've said before has given us just about all you can see in the game of baseball.
Number 19, the designated
Otto
hitter,
Velez,
Otto Velez,
who's 0 for 2 and certainly due. Toronto's designated hitter. He'll lead off the bottom of the 5th. Velez and Mason, the 2 ex-New York Yankees with the Toronto Blue Jay Club. Barrios, swing and a miss for strike 1.
One of the things that hurt both starting pitchers, Ken Brett and Bill Singer, they just pitch too high, and unless you're a Nolan Ryan in this league, it's pretty hard to just consistently throw that ball up. You're going to get in trouble sooner or later.
That was inside, brushed him back a little bit for a ball, 1-1. Now this ball game a little over 2 hours old in the bottom of the 5th inning. Blue Jays lead it 5-4. They were down 4-1 at one time. Sharp hit ball to left field for a base hit for Otto Velez. He's now 1 for 3. Gary Woods, the center fielder, is next. He's 1 for 2. Got a base hit on the 2nd, grounded out in the 3rd. And here's a different view of the proceedings here at Exhibition Stadium. From our helicopter overhead, inside the first pitch to him, the steal is on. He's safe. Otto Velez like lightning into second base. So the Blue Jays have a man in scoring position. And he was shaken up on that slide. Let's watch it again, going in head first.
Oh, he hit hard, Don. Tough pitch for Brian Downing, inside and up, and it was a tough pitch, but he made a fine throw down to second base, and Otto just snuck in there.
And he bumped his head into the second baseman's leg. Orta, he's all right now. There he is, dancing on second base. Nobody out. The batter, Gary Wood, still with a 1-0 count to him.
Now we have that same situation again. A man on second, nobody out. Manager Hartfield wants that runner to Gary Wood to try and hit that ball toward right field, either on the ground or a fly ball to right field, and get Otto Velez down to third base with none of one out.
The right-hander Berrios ready. Bunt laid right down to him, looks for third base, went the wrong way, but he still gets him at first on the throw to Spencer.
Not much the third baseman can do. The pitcher caught that ball and he came up throwing. We'll have a replay, but that pitcher comes up thinking that third baseman is still there, and they would have had a shot, but the third baseman had to go after it because it was bunted real hard. There you see him start to throw to third, doesn't see anybody there. Third baseman says, get that ball over to first, and they just get Gary Wood at first base.
I think Al Scott is going to come in and pinch hit now for Steve Bowling. Velez unable to advance past second base in the previous play. There's one away, and the pinch hitter Woods not in there, but Berrios keeps on throwing. There's a guy eager to stay warm. They picked Woods up from Minnesota in the expansion draft in the second round. He bats left. Hit .284 with Tacoma in the Coast League last year. So Woods pinch hitting for Steve Bowling, who was 0 for 2. That is high for a ball. The first pitch thrown to him by Berrios after he whipped about 4 warm-up pitches to the catcher while Woods was in the on-deck circle.
There's a good breaking ball by Berrios. He just wants to get the base hit now and get that. It's a big difference to have a 1- and 2-run lead in a game. And a 2-run lead, you can do a lot of things. Manager Hartfield can hit and run more, steal more. Not that he's been very shy about stealing today. Been a lot of good base running.
This is popped up in back of the dugout, the third base side out of play. Otto Velez remains at second base with 1 out. And the 1 and 2 count to the hitter, pinch hitting Al Woods for Steve Bowling. Al Scott, I'm sorry, for Steve Bowling. He pops this one up again out of play.
The way those balls are getting to the outfield so quick, those base hits, a runner at second base like Velez is now, he's going to have to get a good jump off of second base in order to score, especially if the ball is hit right at the outfield, a base hit, because it gets out there so quick, and if they have a good arm, it's going to be very tough to score from second base.
Barrios getting ready with a 1-2 delivery. Hit hard, right field, home run.
Well, Otto Velez can take his time scoring from second base on that long home run.
Well, a pretty astute move on the part of Roy Hartsfield, who sends Al Scott into pinch hit for Steve Bowling. He hammers a 2-run blast, 365 feet to right center field. And the Blue Jays go on top 7-4. Their third homer of the day by
Number 38, the second baseman, Pedro Garcia.
Woods.
There's that ball up again, just above the waist, and Al Scott hit that well over the right field fence.
Off the glove of the third baseman, Soderholm. The throw, he's got him. Good recovery. Pedro Garcia failed to beat it out after Soderholm mishandled the ball. He almost let it get away from him, Whitey. What a throw.
Yeah, good play.
Dave McKay.
So Al Woods homering for the Blue Jays. Driving in Velez makes it 7-4. Swing and a miss. Dave McKay, who's very happy to be in this game, is the only Canadian today.
This game is being televised, across Canada. My family's watching, friends are watching it, and I know they're as excited as I am going out there and playing in it, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Dave McKay. And so far today, McKay has 2 base hits for the Blue Jays. Driven in a run. 0-2 pitch coming to him with 2 out. That's outside and low for a ball. It's 1-2. He's hitting left-handed now. That's something he's been developing. His previous appearances today were from the right side. But against the right-handed pitcher, Francisco Barrios, he hits left. That's inside. Brushed him back. It is 2-2.
That's a great advantage. Dave McKay being a switch hitter. Like I said before, Roy Hartfield's going to do a lot of platooning this year, but in the case of a switch hitter like Dave, he's going to play a lot more.
And the easy out, second to first. The Blue Jays inning is over, but they have scored 2 runs on that 2-run blast by Al Woods, pinch hitting for Steve Bowling. The score at the end of 5 innings is the Blue Jays 7, the White Sox 4.
Welcome back to the Toronto Blue Jays' first Major League Baseball game. We now move forward to the 8th inning. The score remains 7-5 for the Jays.
Here's the new pitcher for the Blue Jays. Hard-throwing young right-hander Pete Vukovich, acquired from the Chicago White Sox. Looked very impressive in preseason training in Dunedin, Florida. The third baseman for the White Sox, Soderholm, takes a called first strike.
Don Jerry Johnson pitched 2 2/3 innings, did a good job, but had a little trouble in the 6th and 7th inning, and manager Hartfield thought he'd get a fresh pitcher in there.
We are now in the top half of the 8th inning. Blue Jays lead Chicago 7-5. The White Sox have stranded 16 base runners today. Swing and a miss for strike 2. It is 1-2. The Blue Jays have left 10 men on base. Plenty of scoring chances for both these teams. Vukovich deals, and he went for the outside pitch for a 3rd strike. So Vukovich strikes out Soderholm, the first man he faces. And Chet Lemon is up next, Chicago center fielder.
Number 44.
He's 0 for 3 in a walk, and he struck out twice. Vukovich is 24 years old. He came in the expansion draft from Chicago.
And you can bet, Don, he wants to impress his former teammates, the White Sox.
Not to mention these enthusiastic fans of his right here in Toronto now. And he's pitching well. It's 1-1. 1 out. Top of the 8th. Deals inside. It is a ball. 2-1. Toronto Blue Jays, a highly respectable expansion team in their first start today. Vukovich catches the outside corner. It is 2-2.
Well, this is on his second bat at Pete Vukovich's face, but he looks awful impressive.
Working very quickly. Hit fouled on the third base side. Fielded there by Bobby Knopp, the third base coach for the White Sox. White Sox have 14 hits. The Blue Jays 13. It's runs that count. Toronto leads by 2, 7-5. 1 out here in the 8th. Vukovich, foul hit back by Chet Lemon. Now these fans here anticipating a Blue Jay victory if they can hang on. They are now 5 outs away from it.
Vukovich looks like he can be real tough on right-handers. He drops down and throws a little bit from the side, and he looked very tough to Soderholm, the first batter.
Swung foul again. Count remains at 2-2. Brian Downing, who's had a fine day at the plate, and as the White Sox catcher is coming up next. Strike 3, strikeout number 2 for Vukovich.
Well, he got Soderholm with that big sidearm curve, and then he struck Lemon out with a high fastball inside. Looks very impressive.
What a fastball. He really blazed that one in there.
Number 16.
Brian Downing with 3 singles and 4 at-bats is up now. 2 away for the White Sox in the top of the 8th. They trail Toronto 7-5. Strike 1. Strike 2 swinging. Vukovich throwing everything past the Chicago hitters here in the 8th. Oh, high for a ball. The crowd thought he had a third called strike.
I'll tell you, you're going to get a rise out of this crowd if he happens to get this batter out.
A little inside and high for ball 2. It is 2-2 now. He doesn't waste much time out there. Now takes a moment to reflect.
He should. Once in a while, these young pitchers start pitching too fast. I mean, one pitch after another. And they have to learn to take their time out there.
That ball broke just off the plate. It is 3-2, a full count now on Brian Downing. Vukovich deals. Got away. Lost the batter. A base on balls for Downing. This will bring up Ralph Garr. Looked for a moment as though this man was going to strike out the side.
It looked that way.
No sign of Garr in the on-deck circle as yet.
I'll tell you, one of the biggest plays of this game so far has been the last time Ralph Garr was up with the bases loaded. He hit a shot back at that mound, and Jerry Johnson just stuck his glove down and stayed in there.
Garr has reached base in 4 of 5 attempts. A walk, 2 singles, and by error, grounded out in the 6th inning. First pitch to him is fouled away on the first base side. It is 0-1. We have 2 out. At first base is Brian Downing.
Vukovich, for a big guy, really bounced off that mound real good. The ball went foul, but if it was in fair territory, he was ready for it.
Well, the Blue Jay fans are getting their money's worth. It's a long opening game past the 3-hour mark now. They've got their team in front by 2 runs, 7-5 here in the 8th. Vukovich checks the runner. Swing and a miss by Garr to strike 2. 0-2 the count.
Well, he's shown me 3 good pitches now, Donnie. That curveball to Soderholm, then the high fastball to Lemon, and I just threw a good changeup to Ralph Garr.
Gar drags that left foot back. Waits for the 0-2 pitch from Vukovic. Hit to left field. That'll be a base hit. One Bond Scott fielding it in to shortstop Jim Mason. The White Sox have runners at first and second with 2 out. And it's going to be Alan Bannister coming up. That's the 3rd hit of the day, by the way, for Ralph Gar. All 1-base hits. Downing goes to second. Gar is stationed at first base. And I think we're going to have a pinch hitter coming in here for the Chicago White Sox. It's going to be Niles Nyman. Spent last season between the White Sox and their Iowa farm team. He'll be coming in to hit for shortstop Alan Bannister. So the tying runs are on the base paths, and the potential go-ahead run is at the plate. Nyman coming in for Bannister. With 2 out in the White Sox half of the 8th inning. Toronto leads 7-5. Swung on, a chopper down to dugout, should make it all by himself. He does, the inning is over. So the White Sox are shut out again by Pete Vukovic, who struck out 2 of them. They leave 2 on base, and it's still 7-5. This game between Chicago White Sox and Toronto Blue Jays is coming to you from Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. Mayor David Crombie of Toronto watching with us the Toronto Blue Jays home opener. Bottom of the 8th inning, John Scott leading off, fouls one down the third base side. LeGros now working for the Chicago White Sox. At least he's in the bullpen. Hamilton is still on the mound, but LeGros has been warming up all afternoon. Left-hander deals. It is 1-2 now. Blue Jays lead 7-5, the bottom of the 8th inning. Long ball to left field, going back against the wall, off the wall. It'll be a 2-base hit, and he'll hold up right there. John Scott doubles for Toronto to lead off the 8th.
I think if we see this ball, maybe Gar had a chance to catch it. It was well hit by John Scott. But I think if Ralph Gar had gotten back to the left field fence a little quicker, he may have had a chance of catching the ball. It just hit above his glove there. There was a chance of the ball being caught, but he didn't get back there quite quick enough.
Got a final exhibition hockey score from Gothenburg, Sweden for you. A tie, Team Canada 3 and Sweden 3.
Number 10, the shortstop, Jim Mason.
Right here at 7-5, Blue Jays over the White Sox. Jim Mason at bat. Came in relief of Hector Torres in the 4th inning. He's 0 for 1. Walked his first time up.
Again, we have that situation. This man on second and none out again. It seems like the 4th or 5th time. And Mason squares around the bunt. Wants to get that man over to third base.
Pitch was outside. 1-0 is the count. Hamilton working to Jim Mason.
The ideal place to bunt now is down to third base and make that third baseman field it, and you're almost sure of getting that guy over to third base.
Lays it down to the pitcher, looks at third base. Safe!
Not a very good bunt by Jim Mason, and a very close call at third base. If Mason could have got that ball down to third base or down to first baseman, there probably wouldn't even been a play at third base.
Blue Jays with runners at first and third as Scott slid in safely at third base on the bunt by Mason.
Number 25, the first baseman, Doug Ault.
Tim Norbrook is playing shortstop now for the Chicago White Sox. And coming up to the plate is the first baseman of the Blue Jays, Doug Ault. He led off with 2 home runs. Get into a double play and then walked to the 6th inning. Nobody on. Runners on first and third. Torres or Mason and Scott. Left-hander deals to him. That is ball 1. Blue Jays looking for insurance runs to pad that 2-run lead here in the 8th. The Expos won their debut in '69. The Blue Jays looking to win theirs here today in Toronto. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, through the hole, that'll score run number 8. Scott crosses the plate, and we have runners at first and second.
Here's a replay of that the last hit. He hit it real hard through the box. The shortstop had no chance at all, and it was hit so hard that Jim Mason couldn't go any further than second base.
Up comes Otto Velez. 1 for 3 and a walk today. The Blue Jays designated hitter. Chicago catcher Downing coming out with a word to maybe calm down the pitcher Hamilton. Now here comes Bob Lemon.
Just want to give him a little more time for the White Sox relief pitcher down the bullpen to get a few more pitches in. Probably bring a right-hander in the pitch to Otto Velez. That's Laron LeGros again. This is about the 3rd time he's been up down that bullpen, and I'm sure he'll be in there to pitch to Velez. Whether manager Hartfield switches to a pinch hitter or not, we'll find out in a very short time.
He's been active down there for about 3 innings now. Blue Jays have scored in all but 2 innings of this ball game. And it appears as though, yes, the Chicago White Sox are going to have their 4th pitcher of the day.
Hold on, man. Make the third baseman field it. Hold on.
As manager Hartfield was just talking Otto Velez there by the dugout.
All right, here's pitcher number 4 for the Chicago White Sox, LeGros. And he'll come in with all kinds of trouble on the base paths, and his team 3 runs down. Nobody out yet for the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they lead 8-5. Laron LeGros will be warming up with the catcher Brian Downing. Right-hander. So it appears, if the score doesn't change, that this will be Jerry Johnson's game to win for the Toronto Blue Jays, the 2nd of 3 pitchers.
That's right. There will be. Laron LeGros, I haven't seen pitch since he was with the Detroit Tigers. Big right-hander. But like you said, Don, he's got his work cut out for him. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And White Sox 3 runs behind.
The attendance is announced at 44,649, which trivia buffs would like to know is also a record because they haven't played here before. I'll tell you, most of them are still here. It's a cold afternoon, and these people have hung in and seen a lot of exciting baseball.
I'll tell you, these fans can really help a young ball team like the Toronto Blue Jays. I know it just seems to be they're going to turn out in big crowds this season, and it's nothing better for a young team than to have a good bunch of fans rooting for them all season.
Velez is the batter for Toronto, the designated hitter. 1 for 3 and a walk today. Alton Mason on the base paths. Squares for the bunt, fouls it.
Roy Hartfield, the Toronto manager, still trying to get a couple of more runs on that scoreboard. He doesn't feel safe with a 3-run lead here in the 8th inning.
Larrin LeGros, the 4th Chicago pitcher today. Blue Jays now have 15 hits. Ball breaks outside. It is ball 2.
Otto Velez was still turned around, squared around like he was going to bunt the ball.
First pitch obviously was called a ball. The count shows 2-2. Great bunt down there. They bump into each other. And all hands are safe. Spencer came charging up and collided with Brian Downing.
Well, let's have a replay. A fine bunt by Otto Velez. Right down the first baseline. There's no way they can get the man going into third base. But the catcher, Downing and Spencer, just got a little too close to each other. Either one of them could have picked the ball up and thrown it to the second baseman, Order, who was covering first and had the runner, but there was no way they could stop the other 2 runners from advancing.
That ball was absolutely dead. It just went a few feet ahead and dropped dead, and the 2 Chicago players collided. So it's a hit. The bases are loaded. Nobody out, and here is Gary Woods. 1 for 4 on the day. Long fly ball into the 6th inning with the bases loaded then for Toronto. First pitch to him, ball 1. And the sun is almost coming out here in Toronto, trying to break through those dark clouds overhead. Second pitch, that is low for ball 2. 2-0 now, as LeGros has got himself into a real jackpot here with nobody out and the bases full. The bottom of the 8th inning. Hit to the shortstop. They've got 1. They've got 2, but a run scores. And the Blue Jays are on top 9-5 as Jim Mason comes in from third base. And the batter's going to be Al Woods.
Here you have a replay, perfect double play ball. Shortstop gets it over to second base. Otto Velez went in real hard, but he couldn't get there in time to break up the double play. Now we'll have another view of it.
Mason scoring the 9th Blue Jays run. Al Woods, first pitch, a called strike. Alt's at third base. 2 away. Inside, almost got away from a very alert Brian Downing.
That's the correct word, Don. He is very quick back there, and I can see why he only had that 1 pass ball in 1976.
Right-hander deals. Ball 2. 2-1. Coaching at third base is Jackie Moore for Toronto. Harry Warner coaching at first base. Blue Jays a happy lot right now. Hit foul into the seats.
Can you hear what those fans are hollering now, Don? We're number 1.
Without beer.
And if they can get the White Sox out in the top of the 9th, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be in first place.
They will have a perfect season going for them. They won their first preseason game, too, in Florida against the New York Mets 3-1. Takes for ball 3, full count 3-2 to Al Woods. He had a homer in his first appearance at bat in the major leagues back in the 5th inning to get the Blue Jays into a lead. Called strike 3 on him, and that ends the inning. A pitch that caught the outside corner a little high. but they push across 2 more runs, and so the score at the end of 8 full innings is the Blue Jays 9, the White Sox 5. Well, there's a fan with a hat that isn't very warm necessarily, but certainly decorative, for this the first game the Blue Jays have played at Exhibition Stadium. And here's the man now with the save in his hands, Pete Vukovich, 3 strikeouts away from Toronto's first victory.
Leading off for the White Sox in the top of the 9th, number 6,
George Orta, the second baseman, will lead off.
Orta.
Richie Zisk and Jim Spencer are due to follow him. First pitch to him is a ball. Low for ball 1. Orta is hitless today. He's walked once.
Vukovich missed with a second pitch. The one thing you don't want to do with a 4-run lead in the 9th inning is put any men on base with a walk.
Third pitch, that's strike inside. So it's 2-1. Vukovich working quickly again, low for a ball, ball 3. There's the look down to the third base coach, Bobby Knopp, for the signal as to what they're going to do. They want him on. Swings at it, right to the pitcher, Vukovich. An easy out to Alt, 1 away.
I'm very surprised George Orta swung at that 3-1 pitch. 4 runs behind in the 9th inning. Kind of think that maybe, he should take a pitch and see if he can get that base on balls.
Here's the power in the White Sox batting order, Richie Zisk.
Richie Zisk.
He has himself 4 hits, a pair of singles, a 2-base hit, and a home run in 5 appearances. Swings in the first pitch, fouls it out. Cerrone's got the mask off. He might have had some dirt fly up at his face. He appears to be all right. This is a young man of the plate, Richie Zisk, that commands all kinds of respect from American League pitchers. Vukovich deals to him, and he swings and misses for strike 2.
I think what made Richie Zisk such a good hitter over the last few years is he can hit to all fields.
He struck him out. The Toronto Blue Jays are 1 out away from their first victory.
Don, I think we're going to hear quite a roar if they can get this next batter out. These fans have just been great today, and they're really pulling for these young Toronto Blue Jays.
Number 3, the first baseman.
Chicago's
Jim
last
Spencer.
hope is Jim Spencer, the first baseman. He's got a pair of base hits and 5 at-bats. Vukovich, very strong in relief of Jerry Johnson, who'll get the win. First pitch swung on, left field. Scott can't get to it. Bounces past him, and Spencer will take 2. Scott was just a foot or so away from the 3rd out, but waited too long on the ball.
I think he should have caught the ball, really, Don. He looked like he was going to catch it easy, and then all of a sudden he went down with that glove, and maybe we'll see a replay of it. But
he came awfully close to it.
Yeah,
off
he hit
the
the
end
bottom
of his glove. Vukovich pitches to him. Ground ball to the shortstop. Up with it. Blue Jays win it. Toronto Blue Jays have beaten the Chicago White Sox 9-5, and the crowd is all standing.
There's a pretty bunch of happy Blue Jays there in the dugout, all congratulating Pete Vukovich, who did a fine job and probably did the best job of any pitcher out on that field today.
So the Blue Jays score 9 runs, get 16 hits, committed 3 errors. The White Sox 5 runs, 15 hits, and no errors. And Toronto wins it 9-5.
The loser, Ken Brett.
This is Major League Baseball 77.